Okay, so it's 5:05. I don't really know what I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to start, and I feel like shit, man. It's whatever sickness. It, I don't even know. I'm so fucking burnt out on this shit, man. And then this morning, just always this in and out. But Max had gone out, and so I looked out to see where he was because I was in the bathroom. Like where I spend a lot of time with this sickness. And then, so I opened the door and I looked, and the fog was rolling in towards it. It looked like a scary movie. It looked like that scary movie, The Fog, man. And yesterday I did a video to show, because, you know, everybody's got the allergies, but everybody, it just drives me crazy when people are like, oh, I've got allergies. It's like, do you know what you're allergic to? We're all basically allergic to poison, I'll tell you that. And it's like people don't understand what allergies are, and I've explained it before, but I'll explain it again real quick. Is your body's reaction to a foreign entity that is trying to push out. So you sneeze, you cough, your nose runs. All that is to try and remove the infiltrate, whatever it is that's causing you the reaction. And so your allergies is your body rejecting some kind of form of a poison or something that's not working for it. And so I put a video up showing the fog yesterday morning and saying this is, this is what I'm allergic to. And somebody had messaged me and said there's a patent on the fog. Shocker. So yeah, and every day, and it's so weird. Now I've got this rotation I'm trying to do in that room with running the heater and then running the fan. I don't know if it's getting more dry. I've got the heater close up to my clothes too to try it, but I've got a dress. Man, it's just, this whole thing is so weird. Everything is so fucking weird. People, everything, and then the more and more mainstream this fucking NPC theory. And then you hear these people talking about the NPCs are really coming after me, man. These NPCs are really getting to me. I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. God, I swear to God. It's like we're in an insane asylum, and the people who are need the patients are running the asylum. That's what it seems like to me. It's like all these people don't have a clue, and they just follow along with whatever somebody says. It's like, I'm not going to stop and think about it. Does this make sense? Well, it makes sense because they are. But people don't look into it more spiritually. Like, it drives me crazy. And then when you have people who claim to be super spirits, and they're out there, oh, we're the starseeds, we're chosen, I'm chosen, and I'm going to tell you. And it's like, okay, taking on your authoritative figure, but let's see how this, how it blows up, because these things are going to blow up. What was that one? Because that was, I had seen somebody saying something, and it totally blew up in their face. That one lady who had said, she had a small account, apparently, and she said she had a download or communication or whatever, and she said that they said that this weekend we were going to see tons and tons of craft in the sky. There has been a lot of videos of people showing a lot of craft in the sky, and but she gave the dates over the weekend. She said, that's going to change everything. So then she was getting all these people, and I saw her videos saying, look, I only have a few hundred followers. I just thought I was talking to a couple people. I didn't know you guys were all going to jump on this. But see, people just don't see what's coming. And then, and I saw, man, what happened to Allison Coe. Like, if you were watching her way back, she was just the most nicest person, and she was always smiling and just really pleasant. And then and she was very concerned, like she was saying stuff to try and help people wake up and see what was going on, and not even just wake up, because people didn't really realize what was going on at the time. back in 2016 and stuff, people didn't realize that this was an awakening. They didn't realize that they were consciously asleep and that they were just running programs. And I realized it while I was doing these videos. And it was, like, you'd have to go back if you wanted to see when I realized it. It was, and it's a whole bunch of things that go together, you know. That's why you got to be paying attention to a lot of things, because it all starts fitting together. But it was years ago, because it was when the neighbor and we had that little opening in our fence so the dogs could go through, because the dogs were all friendly and they would stand at the bar at the fence and bark. So we had an opening so they could go in each other's thing. But their gate kept being open. And on my couch, if I look out the window, it's like my view is their gate. Like I could see it perfectly and I could see it open. And I kept thinking, why, you know, like there's no way I'm going to have this be open and have my dogs just mosey on out. And, because I had Winston back then too. And so, I would go out in the morning when I would see their gate open, and I would go shut the little in-between one. And the neighbor started being like, I don't know, because she didn't ask me. She didn't say anything, like, why are you shutting the gate or something? One day she said something like, is it okay if Alfie comes in or something? I said, yeah, I only shut the gate because you guys' gate keeps being open. And she stopped talking to me. And she got, I don't know. It seems like she may have said, my gate's not open. But then there was like a bunch of things that went. It was like real quick too, because I kept seeing her dogs out. Because I had to keep keeping that one closed because their gate kept being open. And the husband, he's moved out now, but the husband, he would just leave and just leave it open. Like I don't know how, like this is common in a lot of people's personality, but I don't know how to explain it. It's just like I keep hearing dusting. It's like they're not completely, like they're caught up in their own pain. It's like they're not, it's like their own pain can keep them out of fully being in the experience or the reality. It's like their focus becomes so much something else, and it's just like they just don't care. Like my last husband was so much like that. And I don't know how to explain it though, but it's like something I can recognize. And so just as like I don't care. I've got too much going on. I've got my own shit going on, so I don't care. Just like an attitude like that. And so and she's got little dogs, and one of them is a Chihuahua, and he would take off and go running around. And then her other little terrier one that is old, she's had for a long, long time. That's her dog before she was married. And so she's very close to it. And she worries if he gets out and he's out trotting around. And so she keeps thinking that they're digging out or something. And I had sent a message and I said, your dogs are out walking down the street. And there was no response. And then, she messaged later and she said, no, they're not. They're right here. And I was like, okay, it's been a half hour since I sent that. And I started reading into, she doesn't believe anything I say. She doesn't believe about the gate. She doesn't believe about this. She doesn't believe about that. And then I needed, my washer and dryer had broke. So I was buying a different one, and I hired her husband to go pick it up and bring it and put it in the house. And so when he was, because they were out and they picked it up or something, so she was there and then in the yard or something, and she said something, and I said, I don't remember what it was, and but that's when the very first time when she made it clear that she didn't believe me. And I don't think she just blatantly called me a liar, but it was something where I was like celebrating. I was like, I knew it. I knew it. That's what I was talking about on the video too. I was like, I knew it. It was like I could hear her thoughts without her saying them, but she wasn't saying them. And then she finally said them. It was like, it was like a celebration to me. It was like, okay, you can hate me, but like, it's more important for me to understand my own communication. And one thing that is important, I was thinking a lot about this yesterday, is when it comes down to the communication, like if I was going to be trying to explain to somebody how to do it, because like I've said, it started for me when I was so young, that I wasn't questioning, like it was just naturally. And so the thing that I would say to me that has been beneficial, because what it really did was give me the understanding that the communication that goes on in your thoughts is not you, that it's communication, that there's talk going on that is not you. And so that's why I'm always telling people to start acknowledging the conversation in your mind and start getting yourself involved in it, instead of just sitting and listening and thinking it's your thoughts. Get involved in the conversation, because then you'll start understanding that it's not you. I think so many people just think their thoughts are them. And I just feel like a benefit that I have that understanding for my whole life. Like I've been able to live like this for my whole life, is that being communication and talking and understanding this isn't me, this is somebody else, and I'm talking to them. And so that is, that's why I always say, you know, to try and decipher, you know, to try and catch the different conversations going on, and you trying to see it. And you got to pick up on the energy, because you'll pick up on the energy of what the message is. And so there's lots of stuff about that, it's trippy, but because of like everybody's putting messages out, and that is kind of like what, you know, one of the things that I have been learning through my time of being alone is being able to determine or decipher confirmation is this these signals, or these the hidden messages, like it's like the unspoken part of life, the stuff that people aren't saying. And so when I realized it and I was putting together the different things she was saying, and then she said something about, you know, her gate's never open, it's always shut. I think it was that she was going to go through the gate, and I said, and she said, is that okay or something? And I said, yeah, I only shut it when your gate's open. And she said, my gate's never open. I can see it from my cameras, and my gate's never open. That was my epiphany. That was my, it just all of a sudden I could see. And I was like, this is an awareness thing. This is something of people's awareness. Like it's like they see the surface, so they see this and they automatically assume it's this. They don't, I don't know. I just, all of a sudden I could just see and understand that it was about this consciousness, that we were coming into a different state of consciousness, a different state of awareness, a different state of paying attention, a different state of thinking things through, of how you look at things and what you see, and you know, all of that. So that is when, so anyway, I've had a long while of being aware of what is going on, what the awakening really is about. And so it gives me this other, you know, perspective. Like when I see things that, you know, it's how I look at them. And so there's, this is kind of creepy, I think, is because the sphere, which I think the sphere is creepy as fuck. And I think it's a part of, I think if I were to say, like, I would say it was probably the darkness trying to, I don't know, Because some of the things, it's like they are trying to do something, but then the white or the light has come in to expose what they were trying to do. So it's hard to say, but there's something weird with that sphere. No matter what, there's something real weird about it. But now there's a bunch of videos going around, and so real big, it was flashing words, and people are saying like, oh well, it was from this YouTube concert, but they're saying no, it just happened and it's from this UFC fight. So I don't know. I think it's subliminal messaging, and does it in lights, and it does these words, and it starts flashing them real quick. So people are going in and slowing them down, stopping them, and then putting together even the colors and stuff. And it's definitely I don't know. I think it's subliminal messaging of hostility or something. So I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy because when I was a kid, they got in trouble for using subliminal messaging, and then they supposedly were stopping, but I don't think they've ever stopped. And I even think that in movies they've even gone further. I think that they use frequency in movies to control people's minds and stuff. Like even if you watch a scary movie may not even be that scary, but they take your emotions with the frequency, and I don't know, it's trippy. But it's like, because they know these things about us that we don't know about us. And so they know how to affect us, you know, especially with all this fucking poison and shit, man. I'm so sick of it. It's so crazy too. Because when they were handing these things out, and I said, no way, I'm fucking taking one. Some slow ass fucking death that they're trying to put on people. And then, but I knew that no matter what, they were going to be, you know, going after us all, that was just one thing. And, but, you know, the acknowledgement of the slow sickness. And then I have past life flashes of these kinds of things. And it's like, fuck, I don't want this slow, drawn out death, man. And that's what it feels like. But everything is going to bring us back from the brink. But Jesus fucking Christ. And I'll tell you what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to fucking give anything to them. There's no fucking way I'm going to go to a goddamn hospital, doctors, and urgent care. None of that. They can fuck off. That's what they want. They want us to just, oh, go to them and pay them and, oh, save me. Oh, fuck off with this shit, man. I swear to God. I'm so being sick all the time, and then the way this shit just drags and drags. Now we got another fucking hit off going on him. It's like, oh my God. God damn. How much can you drag something out? God damn. And today's the 16th, I think. Today and tomorrow is supposed to be some big thing. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's in the stars or it's in the, this is ending and this is, just, there's so much. There's just so much. And we just keep building up, going towards this thing. You know, another thing too is, who was this? Oh, this was a guy, and his neighbors is Bosnian. And they were barbecuing. So the guy went and got his phone and was looking over his fence, showing on their barbecue. They were fucking barbecuing, and goddamn, it does look like a dog. 100% looks like a dog. I don't know what else it could be. And, you know, and he's like, this is my Bosnian neighbors and they're barbecuing. It looks like a dog. And, but this is what I've been trying to say. You know, a bunch of times, is there's other cultures that eat other things. There's other places that they eat other things. Like, it's weird how Americans get so up their own ass. Like, everything that they do is the only way to do it. You do it this way, and that's the way to do it. This is the way it's done, and this is how you do it. It's like, you know, okay, well, in other realities, because it's not just other cultures, these are other realities. These are other places, spaces, and time where souls go for experience and lessons. Like, no matter what you want to think, if you want to think all these non-player people, no, all these soulless people, it's just me, I'm just the chosen, I'm just here to save myself or something. I don't even know what the hell with these people. It's like, are they thinking things through? So are you here to save are you here to save the NPCs because they're all just gonna just disappear because they don't exist? It's like, who are you here to save? So the NPCs, the what was that? There's so much hostility. There's so much arrogance and ego, and so much ignorance and ego. It's like, man, this is so wild. But this is the thing: is all these different people will get to see for themselves. This is pulling these sides of themselves to the surface. And to me, that just shows we're getting closer and closer and closer to the big reveal, because everybody's pulling these sides of themselves to the surface. And these are the sides of themselves they're going to see. You know, it's all about the things that we're purging is all about your ego with the arrogance, the bitterness, the division, the hierarchy, what is it? Because you want to go towards forgiveness. So it's like, but that bitterness, that like holding on to, that person's my enemy, they hurt me one time, you know, I hate them, and I'm just going to focus on that. I'm going to send them hate energy all the time. And you are creating all that. This girl, oh yeah, there's two different ones I wanted to say something about. Because there's one I've said before, because she trips me out. It is trippy, but because there is so many girls out there that are very beautiful and they're so insecure. Even when they try and act like that they're not, and that they think that they've got it all going on, but it's the way that they behave. It is when you show a sense of desperation. And she always does these weird ass fucking angles. Like, I don't understand it. Like, you're sitting, you're putting your phone like this, you're tipping like this, you want this to show, like, so you're doing all this weird stuff, and then you're sitting there having this serious talk about, you know, the problems with dating. And, you know, nobody is really, you know, I don't know. It's just a whole bunch of things. And so, this is part of the sickness too. God, the fucking nose running and shit. So she does these super awkward poses, and then she's always talking about how hard it is to find somebody, you know, nobody wants her, nobody, you know, these guys DM her, but it just goes nowhere. I don't even know. It's just like a whole thing. But I feel like she doesn't realize how she comes across. And the thing is that that's the energy. Like, you can trick yourself. You can think, well, I look good, I'm pretty, this is how, you know, guys are going to see that I'm a nice person and they're going to want to date me. But you don't understand, though, that the energy you're putting out is of desperation. It's not of trust. It's not of like, oh, well, I know that, you know, I have a person out there, they're going to find me. I just got to really focus on myself. Yesterday, even, one of the things they had said to me was, you know, you got to realize that this other person has got to be focused on themselves too. Like, they're working on their healing and stuff. So it's not just all on your timing, like you're feeling good, so they better, it's like, I don't know. Everything that I get taught, I can see so much how it all fits together, from all these different past lives and stuff that they've shown me. But that, of learning how to go with the flow, to trust, to not try and force things, to allow things to come to you. And this is the part where you got to realize that the things come to you and see. So when she's out there putting out this energy, she isn't pulling in these great guys that are looking for she's energetically, she's pulling in other people who are as desperate as her. So she's dealing with people that she is, you know, she sees herself as being so healed, and she's done all this work on herself, but she's still going into the system and pulling from her energy of desperation of, where's my person? Where's my person? And that can, you know, there's a lot of people who are feeling that, a lot of people. And I think that that is this sense of like, there's going to be a lot of union. There's going to be a lot of people coming together, and it's going to be on this other spectrum of love, because the spectrum of love that we've been working on has not been true and pure. And so there's going to be this a part of this shift is going to have to do with true love, and true love is going to come from deep connections and stuff. So that's what I'm always trying to get these people to understand is like, you have a person out there who is your match, but you aren't matching with them if you are in desperation and you're just anybody, please. That's that kind of sense of, are you my mother? Are you my mother? Who's there for me? Who's there for me? I'm putting it out here. Somebody, please come. And I just feel fortunate. Like, I know who my person is, so I don't have to, because sometimes I would be like, why would they tell me so much ahead? Because being a spiritual person, once they told me, I thought this is about to go down. Like, I told people, like, this is about to go down. And then people are like, oh, okay, so you're over it now because it's been years. It's like, no, it only grows. Like, this connection, like, I can feel it in my soul. And so it's not, it doesn't go away. And then, so was like, it's dumbfounded me, like, why would I know so far ahead? But then yesterday it was so much about like, but look at all these lessons, look at all these things that you've learned from going through this, and then how it bumpers up to the things that I was here to learn about trust and going with the flow, and all these different things. So, that's why we have to kind of be more understanding of our own patterns and not base it on other people's experiences, because we have our own lessons to learn. And it's trippy, because, back 11/11/17 was my trigger date. So it's been a while. And it is it is weird to know ahead, but also that really shows me that these people are all like, just desperately like I don't know, there's something with people who think like that they're making these things happen. Like, I even see these tarot readers and spiritual people like, okay, well, now you've done this, now you've made this happen, and now this is going to, and your guides are scrambling trying to put everything in place. It's like, you guys, your guys aren't out there scrambling to put things in place. This was already set. This ride was set before you ever entered it. So they're not scrambling around. Oh, she did that. We weren't expecting it. Well, let's hurry. It's like, what? This is, again, why I say, like, what do these people understand about spirituality? They're out there fucking talking nonsense. So, but anyways, with that girl, it just is, it's so awkward. She makes these really, where I feel kind of like cringy for her. Like, God, this is so embarrassing, girl. Why do you keep doing this? It's so obvious. Like, you're trying to show, like, look at how good I look. Like, doesn't everybody want to fuck me? Like, come on, guys. You want to fuck me? Let's do this thing. That's how it comes across. And then, in their words, it's like, I'm just looking for the person who is the right person or whatever. And it's like, this isn't how you do it. This is how you do it. Like, I'm going to take off all my clothes. I'm going to stand on the corner, and surely he'll find me then. Okay, so you're just going to take any guy who thinks you look good? Because that's what it comes down to. And that is where you are still caught in your lessons. So I would say, get out of those habits of putting yourself out there, in a degrading manner, thinking that that is going to pull in your person. Degrading yourself is not going to pull in somebody of a higher vibration. It's going to pull in the same kind of low vibration shit that you've been dealing with. You've got to change that outlook in yourself. The other one that I had seen the other day that I found quite interesting too was, so I had talked about this person before, and this was months ago. I don't know, it could have been a year ago. Time is so fucking wacky. So but I had said that I had seen an ad, and it was for an older woman, and they just had this typical old lady looking, with her short white hair, her big giant granny panties, her big giant bra, and what is she, 55 years old? And it's like, people are starting to really catch on to this too, because I had talked about this such a long time ago too. But People are starting to be like, oh my God, I'm the same age as all the old people that were on TV. Like when they start putting in, like, Fred Sanford was in his 50s, and all these different people who they showed us were like these really old people. These are the old people, like, in these shows. And then it starts being that you start realizing, like, they weren't even old. Like, what the fuck? But that's why I said it's all this manipulation. It's all this way of getting us to age and stuff. It's trippy when you start realizing, but so many people are realizing so much more. And it's funny to watch. So, anyways, this woman, like, observation is the way to go, I'm telling you. So, this woman, that I had seen because I would see her on TikTok. And she was an older woman and she had white hair. And this was even before I even knew about the minerals, because this was right beforehand. Because I had communicated with this woman. And once I started realizing and my hair started turning, I told her. And she said, oh, no, I like my silver hair. I'm not going to do that. And I was like, yeah, but it's a mineral thing. And she's like, oh, I don't like my hair when it was black. Because she's, I don't know, Italian or something. And it's real tiny, little tiny lady. And super, super skinny. So one day she had put some post up, and it was some good stuff happening for her, something in the news or something, I don't remember. And I said, oh, that's so good. I kept thinking that you are where they need to put up more about, older ladies, not this, this other lady she looks like an old lady. This other lady looks like, an older woman, but she doesn't just look like an old lady. And so we started following each other and talking some about, once I had said about the minerals and stuff, because my thing is going in one direction. And I had said, like, I see this is going in these two different directions. And in mine, it's about natural, which I want to, again, say natural is slow. So that, I think, is one of the things that gets to people. It's slow, and you have to go at it. That's the combination. That's the harmony, is you putting the work into your own health, your animal's health, whatever it is. And so many people don't want to deal with that. They just want this quick, easy, just get the medicine, let's go. But the medicine is only causing more problems. That's the thing. And when you use the herbs and stuff like that, then it really is. And right now, Stella's, like this morning when I was feeding them, there was blood all over the floor, and she's hitting her tail. Her tail is like a fucking, like, a arm. And I feel bad when she's hitting, but she's got one of those little bumps on her tail, and she opened it up, and it was blood all over the place. So, and I just keep thinking, I just got to keep going at it slow. And she's got so much with the allergies, like snot coming at him too. It's like, it's so obvious. Like, how would we all have this same kind of shit? And I don't know that they're having the same stomach flu thing, where I was like, I was looking at it in two different ways. Could this be that it was the toxins, and then my tea and the stuff I drink in the morning that gets all this stuff out, that's what is going on? So I drink my tea in the morning, and all the toxins that I've breathed in and stuff are being expelled from my body in the morning. And so it could be something like that. Or is it just, the poisons are giving me some kind of GI problem, which it goes all day too. Like my stomach just going crazy and just making all these noises and stuff. It's just like, fuck. When you think about, like, God damn, the parasites in there, I was having a party or something. And I had done the horse pace the other day. I'm really trying to just focus on Stella because I didn't really see anything. But every morning, every day. It's not just, I mean, it can go longer through the day. It's not just in the morning. But I was really thinking, like, I wonder if this could be, like, all these toxins in my body, my tea is pushing them out. But that is, the benefits of the oh, my leg's going to sleep. Benefits of doing natural stuff. And there's just so many people who just don't want to mess with natural, and they don't even believe in it. And I don't, no shame on them. Like, I just remember back to when I was all caught up in the medical, and I was going to my person, and I was like one prescription after another, because there was a period of time where I was like very focused on my migraines and feeling better. And then they would give you all this stuff to make you feel better. Well, and I could totally tell, like, this is stuff that you could really get yourself addicted on if you took it, like, oh, I just don't feel good. I just feel bad. And then you take that and it's like the happy pill. Oh, I feel so much better. I just need a little bit more of those happy pills. So there could have been a sense of that too, like, oh, well, I didn't have any problems, especially during a period of time when I had so many problems. And it's funny too, because when you are a relationship junkie, you do have a lot of relationships hanging on the line. Like, you just broke up with that one, that one. Like, so, when that was really cool yesterday too. Because yesterday the song came on. There used to be when I would go back and go out and dance, and the guy that I liked, he was the singer of the U.S. Kids, and he would always sing this song, and it came on the radio, it came on my Spotify, and I was sitting on the couch, but then it was like the guys were like, oh, we put this on for you. Come on, Kelly. Because I had been dancing. So I got up and I started dancing, and it was like I went back. Oh, it makes me feel really emotional, because it was like I went back in time and I was back there dancing, and I could see him. And I don't know. It was just very emotional. It was trippy. So that was cool. There's a lot of things that happen, like in dancing. I know that that's one reason why when they would do ceremonies and stuff, there was dancing and that kind of like chanting kind of thing. So, but anyways, I want to finish this story about this lady. So, but we were going in two different directions. So we had made contact, and I, built her up, told her, like, I think that you're a better role model. But I think a lot of people were, but it's like she got really, I don't know, because I didn't really know that much about her content. So it could have been exactly the same, but I hadn't seen it yet. But when I started seeing it, I started being like, man, this is so shallow. This is so, and then I started seeing a lot of these silver-haired ladies in this super shallow way of aging. And all of them, because one thing too, the girl who I was just talking about a minute ago, who likes to get in these weird, provocative positions, that she put up a message that she was answering the other day. It's like, oh, I can't even believe nobody wants you. You're so pretty. You're so perfect, or whatever it was. How do you stay looking so good? And so she has to go in and answer that. And I didn't listen to the whole thing. I just listened to a part where she's like, well, I do Botox. And, but this is the thing, is like all these people, there's just like two different groups. They are going in two different directions, and they can be going in in what appears to be a positive influence. But the thing is it's based on a negative containment of information. So it's not, like when they're sitting here pushing people to go do the Botox, like, yeah, I do the opposite of that, very opposite. And it's like, learn from my mistakes, which right now, it's very, very small. Hopefully it's going in these big crystal things that have been coming out of my eye. And it's not sleep. It's very different than sleep. It's like fucking, I swear to God, it's like these salt crystals that when I get like my mineral salts, and it's these big chunks. And I was thinking, well, that is something in what our bodies do, because it forms these crystals, and it does it in our kidneys, in our gallbladder, all these different places. So I was like, it makes sense, something. And then the other day also, there was another thing that was like something just opened up and I could see. So there's definitely stuff going on, and I definitely feel like the tox is toxic and it's way too close to my eyeball. But this little thing is smaller, but I still, at this point, I don't know if it's going to have another inflammation or go, and I'm just going to keep working on it. But right now I'm not taking any horse paste. I'm doing the black seed oil, my regular tea stuff, and just castor oil, castor oil, castor oil. As soon as it dries out, it hurts. It's itchy, it hurts. So, yeah, I would not tell anybody to put any fucking injection into their, no, fuck off with this shit. And, you know, it's like, no. And most people are not going to want to deal with that. And they would go to medical. And what medical is going to do is start cutting fucking pieces out of your face. 100%. 100%. You know, just, we'll see. You know, just like I said, there's going to be a whole bunch of redheads. There's a whole bunch of redheads. There's going to be a whole bunch of people who are getting shit cut out of their faces. So they're going to, as long as you're going to the medical, that's their shenanigans. So anyways, this lady, the one who is the older lady who is, you know, tells people, go get your retinol, use your retinol, and all their makeup, showing makeup techniques, showing body things and stuff. And she was talking about wearing these Spanx thing or body slimmer things one day. This was months and months ago. And skin and stuff like that. So she was talking about that kind of stuff. What I have noticed, if you are, like I said, which this is trippy too, because I have been saying for a while about these little weights that I have here, and you just use them all day long throughout the day. You don't have to sit there for an hour or two, you know, beating yourself down. Just do your reps through the day. Just get up and, you know, 4 minutes here, 5 minutes here throughout the day. And I don't think it comes to an hour for me. I would say maybe 45 minutes if you added it all up together, maybe a half hour or something. But it's the consistency, and it's the keeping yourself moving all day long. And stretching is super important. Like, you got to do your stretches. It's crazy how much your muscles will get so tied up. So I've been talking about these, you know, doing that and being in your own little home and being able to do that. You don't have to go to a gym and stuff. So now there's all these videos. It's so trippy how I'll do something, then we'll be all like, start getting flooded with this stuff. Right now I'm totally being flooded. Like, there's a whole bunch of people, these workout guys, they're showing out all these different things to do with your little weights and stuff. But anyways, what I have noticed is your skin and stuff tightens when you are working out. And so I didn't think anything of it. I mean, the woman was so skinny and small. I assumed that she worked out. And it seems like one day she had done a video and said something about exercise or something. Maybe she said, oh, I need to start exercising again or something. I don't remember. But I kind of was like, oh, that's weird. But she's so small. And so it's like, you know, are you eating anything? Or, you know, I mean, she's extremely small. And but I think she's a very small person, like a petite person. And so but all of her content is always just about like, look at me, I'm having so much fun. Just the same regular bullshit content that I feel like is so shallow and superficial. And then, you know, but leading people into more chemicals, and make sure you go to your doctor, make sure you get your blood pressure, and all those kinds of things are her content, which is very opposite of mine. And so she was just with her boyfriend, had just gone to the French Riviera a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something, and she went and she was like, I'm gonna post all about, you know, the trip, because that's kind of like what she is like. Look at this fun life. Like, a lot of her stuff is like, look at my outfit, this is what you need to do, you know. And you can tell she's very city, like some of the clothes that she wears is, I don't know, just this certain big city New York kind of, you know. Some of the clothes are just kind of like, I don't know, and like a high fashion or something. And so all those things just kind of showed me like a little bit more of her personality, where I was really seeing this two different directions of things going. Because on my direction, it's like aging isn't real. And if you have a healthy lifestyle and you take care of yourself, you'll find out. And these other people are like, oh, let's just all age together, let your hair go, you know, and all this stuff. There's a whole lot of ladies, and I had let my hair go, I think it was 2016. So I had already stopped coloring my hair. in 2016, I believe it was, and was letting the gray come in, which was a little less, it was a little less than this, but look at this, like, this is crazy how, there's just barely any left. So, so anyways, so I stopped coloring my hair. So that, has also given me, everything works together the way it's supposed to work together. It's so crazy. And, what, so when I had stopped coloring my hair and let the gray come in, and then, you guys all saw it. It was like this whole thing was just white. Like if I pulled my hair back, this was just white. And this was starting to get a lot more with the gray. So that was what I started noticing in the beginning, was just all of the outer layers of my hair was getting darker and darker and darker. And so I've been able to have that barometer of my hair to see when I have gone into the mineral thing, because I was always going to go on this path. Nothing happens by accident. It wasn't like all of a sudden I got up that morning and I go, I'm going to drink out of a copper cup, and my angels there were like, oh my God, we weren't expecting that. Hurry, what are we going to do now? Scramble. She's got a whole new way. It's like, what the fuck? You guys got to get your shit together on this spirituality shit. And so, anyways, the other day, she did a video, and she's like, she's bedridden now. And she's like, I don't remember all the stuff she was saying, but she said now she's really realized a couple of things. And, but see, this is what I was saying. The universe was always going to be knocking people's socks off. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with this girl who just keeps, like, I don't, some type of humiliation to get her on track. I would imagine, but that's the same thing. It's going to keep happening for everybody. Some type of a humiliation to get you on track. That's why you got to be able to humble yourself. You got to be able to call yourself out and go like, oh my God, I've been so stupid. I got to, I know I can do better. Let's just keep it going. Keep working on trying to do better. But so she, and I think it seemed like, I don't know if she was still on her trip when this happened, because it seemed like she was still on her trip, but I don't know. But she was standing on a ledge and just kind of stepped back or fell back a little bit and stumbled and broke her foot. And and she showed the picture of her that she showed in a video. Her foot fucking huge. And so she can't stand, she can't step, she can't walk. And she said, now she's very upset with herself, because she said she hadn't been doing any exercise. She hadn't been doing anything like that. And now, even when she's trying to walk on the crutches, her arms are so weak and she can't stand up and stuff, like her legs, everything's so weak. What have I been saying for how fucking long? But, it's not like I'm a fucking genius. I mean, it's part of my trek of what, my ride was entailing, because I learned that stuff when I was a nurse. And that's why I've said you've got to use these certain muscles. Like when you're getting up out of a chair, don't use your arms to push yourself up. Use your leg muscles, because that is what happens as people age. They quit using their muscles and their muscles atrophy. That is a part of this lifestyle change of people not taking care of themselves anymore, just letting themselves go. That's why I keep saying this is about your lifestyle. This is about your choices. This is about how you take care of yourself. And so she, but why I had said was like, when people get older, that's why they put those handicap bars. Like when you go a place where there's all these old people, like a nursing home or whatever, and everybody's got these handicap bars. It's because they have to use their arms to pull themselves up. Their legs have become so weak that they can't stand up. They have to use everything to get themselves up. Sometimes people get so weak that they can't even get themselves up at all. They have to call in the aides. I've been called in. Like there's some patients who, well, an aide's not, I need an RN. An RN has got to help me. It's like, oh my God, people. So, so that weakness of your muscles, they just continue to deprive themselves. They just get weaker and weaker and weaker. Or you deprive them of working them out. And that's why I said this is super important. I'm not just saying this stuff just, well, oh, well, let's just do it for fun. No, it's hard work. Taking care of yourself is hard work. But there's a benefit to it. And then there's a consequence to not taking care of yourself. So so I have said, you got to keep movement. Movement has to be a part of your life. You have to, like to me, dancing. Well, I know she went dancing all the time. But I mean, that was enough when I was in my 20s. Like I danced every night, probably 4 or 5 hours a night, every night. I went out every night. And if my people weren't playing, then I was at the other clubs, because it was like the rockin' clubs and the punk clubs. Like there was 2 different in Dallas. And so, I was out every fucking night and dancing and stuff. And I was in good shape. And then, cause that was like, because after high school, when I went to hair school and I was walking with that friend of mine and we would walk to school, she taught me a lot, like about the exercise, like walking. And she's the one who got me on to understand about not eating meat and stuff. Because before I would just refuse it when I was a kid, or my mom would make me and I would chew it and spit it in a napkin and I would get in trouble and stuff all the time. But but she started telling me more stuff about me being fattening and walking. Like she was teaching me things that I didn't know yet. And I was like 17 or 18. And she was like the 18, I think, because we had both just graduated. And so, so I had already was walking 8 miles a day. And then she was hanging out with me too when we would go to the clubs. Because Dickie, the guy in the band who I was madly in love with, like it was a whole group. Like we were a whole huge group of people. And like when we went out and they were playing, like there was a whole group of us girls that it was their wives and stuff like that. And we would be out there in, I don't know what it is. It's just like a group of people who go and hang out with their friends when they're playing and they go out and dance to their songs. And but you do definitely stand out. Like you dress a certain way, your own group, So anyways, that was such fun times. But so she was involved with that because there was one of the guys that was Dickie's roommate that was his good friend, Mike, who's a hairdresser. There was a lot of hairdressers. We were hairdressers. And they were hanging out for a long while. I think they were a couple for a while. So anyways, but so it wasn't, I think when I started going to the gym, it was when I got pregnant. It was when I was pregnant, I was 20, and I started going to some exercise class for pregnant ladies. And then I started going to the gym. So I've always been like, focused on like physical is important. And so it's just like inside me, like I just know it. And so it's always like I got to figure out ways to do it. And then once I had moved here and I started seeing the parts that were really weak parts, like because people just don't realize how weak you get if you stop exercising. And that is a part of this aging where people just think, well, I'm just gotten old and stuff. No, you're letting yourself fall apart. So this, so the movement is important. Stretching, keeping yourself limber and stuff. Strength building is important, is otherwise you deteriorate. And so, in this woman, and when she was doing all this stuff about aging, and it was all superficial, all shallow, nothing about, taking care of your physical body and exercising and stuff. It's like, no, just throw on some chemicals, put on a cute outfit, get out there and, have a good time. It's all about the surface, superficial, throw some makeup over it and get some cute outfit and go out there and have fun. And so that is a part of our humans it's like these two opposing forces. It's like the ignore everything and just have fun. That's a part of what's coming to the surface. And it's going to be hitting people in all different ways. And so she got hit. And we'll see what she does with it. I would think she's going to start focusing a lot more on telling her, following, like about exercise and really taking care of yourself, because it seemed like she was going with that like right off the bat, telling people like, you gotta, I can't believe how weak I am. I can't believe I have no strength to walk on crutches. I can't believe I can't, my legs have no, like, she just has no strength. And all of a sudden when you have a, a banged up part, you'll see like, man, just falling that other day, and see how quick things can go like that. Like, she stepped off of a thing. And one thing too is that I have noticed is when you are doing the exercises, how much it builds your core, and how much I've been working on my lower part of my core, because that is where they just flambéed me. And then that is, something it just, it can make you super mad at yourself. Like, God damn, I wish I wouldn't have let him cut out my fucking, gallbladder. Like, but it's such a long time ago, and I was so sick, and it just was like, that was the answer to the thing. I had no idea. They're telling you like, oh, it's no big deal. Yeah, you won't even miss it. And then I think, fuck, I can't even believe like I've let people cut into my body. Like, man, when you're seeing some of this shit, it's like, fuck, you should never let anybody cut into our bodies. And they try and convince us that's what we need, and they're not supposed to be. And so and then the going through my belly button, whatever, how many laparoscopies, and I know there's lots of girls out there who've had these laparoscopies and stuff, because they're always in there looking for fibroids, looking for looking for this, looking for that. What's your problem? Because we all have all of these weird symptoms and pains and stuff in our uterus and our ovaries and all this, because they're attacking us with all this shit. And so we have, side effects or whatever. We have the effects of all this stuff. And so we have all these issues. And then they go in and tell us what they need to do for these issues. What we need to do is get off of all of their shit. And so what was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say. But so anyways, this woman, though, has realized the error of her ways to some point, because now she's saying like, this is super important to keep exercising, and I should have not stopped. I can't believe I stopped. And I don't know for how long she stopped or whatever, but you can't stop. I can tell a difference, like if one day, like you can do a certain exercise, then you go, and then, it's like, oh, that's not that bad. Then you skip a day, and then you go do it the next day, and it's like, ugh, it's hard again. It's every day that you have to do this stuff. Every day you have to take care of yourself. Every day you have to put in with intention of you taking care of yourself to make yourself more healthy. Man, it only makes sense that you need to be able to be strong. And because that is the important thing, is your core. So when I was out there walking, and I've done so much on my core, even though I'm still working on it, with my stomach and stuff. And I do all sorts of things, like rubbing my stomach and releasing my stupidity, and using my mind to heal it, seeing it heal and stuff like that. So it's a whole thing. And that's where I'm saying it's not like, it's not immediate. It's not like you do it one time and then that's it and you're all better. No, it's like these are things you have to do all the time. And that is why I say that a lot of people don't like to do natural, because it's more tedious. It's not so quick fix. It's like you have to keep putting effort into you all the time. And so I have been working on my core a lot. And before, when I hadn't, and I had no idea, like, it trips me out as I have built the strength and some of these muscles. And then with this scar tissue, and I've been tearing this scar tissue. That's what I'm saying, is like with my hands and stuff, like rubbing and stuff. So I have been, I'm tearing scar tissue apart. and pulling it and trying to get the muscles to go back into um, strong. And what I've definitely noticed is, you know, like I had talked about before, when they cut you open and then you don't, you know, you're not supposed to move or whatever for however long. Now I think now within a day or something, they tell you to get up and start walking and stuff. But still, like when you get a C-section, you're walking bent over for like a fucking month. And then, and it just is, everybody does it. Everybody just walks, you know, is bent over. Then it heals that way. That's what I have found, that the scar tissue, it heals that way. So then it starts like contorting your body and stuff. And I have noticed the effects that it's had on my back, which I think it is a part of even the scoliosis. I swear to God. And so, and back when I was falling all the time, and I have no idea. I had no idea I had a weak core. I was going to the gym and stuff. I had no idea. I knew that there was some exercises that were hard to do. And, you know, and even when I would sit and do like, what are those things, like sit-ups or something, it would really pull on my gallbladder scar. And so I think there was some things that I went and do that I needed to do, but I didn't know the importance of it. And I didn't realize like I was falling so much. Then after I got the brain injury and it affected my eyes, and I started having these spots that I wasn't seeing. And so, you know, there's a part of the, when you're walking and you're looking out, your eyes see down. Mine don't do that. I have to look down to see down. And so I didn't know that for a long time though. And so I'd be walking, you know, normal, looking up, and I would fall all the time. I'd be hitting into things, tripping over things, and I'd be like, fuck, God, I'm a klutz. And I would fall down all the time and get scraped up knees and stuff. Like I had said before, that one time, the first time that I had a big fall, and I was all dressed up and I was going to this restaurant over by Coeur d'Alene. And so it's like this fancy kind of area, and I'm walking in this dress and I fucking fall down, skin my knees and stuff. It was so embarrassing. Adult woman falling. It was so embarrassing, right on the concrete. And this was before. This was before, way before my brain injury. This is when I was still married to number 2. And so I had already fallen a few times, and I had no idea it was my core strength. And then things, you know, got worse. My eyes got worse. My core strength got worse and stuff like that. And then it was to the point I was falling all the time. And then that, you know, I had said I had fallen when I was doing the leaves, and I fell into the trash can, cracked my head open. That's right where this split in my hair is. There's a scar right here. And it hurts too still. It still hurts where. And then when I fell into the trash can, that's when I hurt my hip, where the hip got to be so like frozen, where I had to try and figure out how to unfreeze it myself. And when I had gone to the doctor back then and asked about it, because at first they just did the head thing, and then I didn't really know anything else was wrong for a while, because I thought, you know, it would stop, but it just got more and more tight and more where I couldn't move my hip, I couldn't sit and do Indian style, like all these things were deteriorating. And I had gone to the doctor, and they said they were going to send me to physical therapy. Well, that's right when I was moving. And then I was like, fuck, I'm not going to go drive an hour. I mean, that would be an all-day thing to go to physical therapy out here. And so I was like, okay, I got to just figure out how to do this physical therapy for myself. I got to figure out what exercises. So I went on YouTube and I started putting in the search thing, exercises for your hip and hip injury, like things like that. And that's where I had found the yin yoga. And I started doing the yin yoga. And that's where I was like, I fell in love with that. And it got my leg to quit doing it. And I could see it's consistency. It's to just keep doing the same things and keep working at something, and it gets better. And just like the same thing, just doing a workout every day, you're going to get better. You don't have to do all of this crazy shit, but it may take you more time. And most people, they just want it quick. Like, I want to get in shape and I want to do it fast. I'm going to go exercise 3 hours a day, and I'm going to just drink protein shakes and stuff like that. Everybody's just like, oh, I got to get it quick. And it's like, but it matters more when you are consistent, that because you don't want to stop doing any of this stuff. And so I had realized that my core was more weaker through all of these different things. You know, it's all been ever since I started focusing on my health. It's just been like the door just opens, and it opens in segments. Like it doesn't open way up there. You got to go through the other doors to get to the other door. That's what I was saying is like there's a method to the madness. You'll learn this, and then that will help you to understand this, and then you'll learn that, and then you'll help you understand this, and then that's why I say it's steps. Everything is steps, and people want to skip the steps. They want to just jump in and have it all quick. And it's like, no, you got to put the work into you. And so so then I started doing all this understanding about my core. I think it was when I was doing the hips or something. And but it all goes together. And because it was like my daughter was here and she was giving me some exercises at this one time after I'd started doing that. And she was telling me some stuff, and then she had given me some. So everything starts going in together. And in the core thing. And I started really understanding like how weak my core was. It was when I was doing that, when I very first started doing yoga and the balance thing. Like I had no balance, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck, man. Like I could not. But it made me see like, no wonder I fall all the time. I've got no balance. Why am I so weak? And then you start paying attention and seeing like, you know, you can just push you and just fall because I have no strength in my core. And because now I've got all this strength in my core. Now the dogs can come up, you know, and I can catch myself. And in most cases, but the one day when we were out walking and, you know, I don't know, the one neighbor wanted to woo me or something, giving my dog treats or something. And I think he's mad at me. I just really don't care. I mean, I don't want to be mean or anything, but it's just like, some of this shit is so ridiculous and petty and stuff. It's just like, you know, I don't know. We have people we vibe with, and we have people we don't vibe with, but people who we don't vibe with still want to vibe with us because everything is so fucking superficial. That's what I gotta say about it. So people are so fucking superficial. So, and it's hard to be deep in a superficial world, I swear to God. You are the weirdo. You're the outcast. You're the one who thinks a little too much, a little too weird, a little too deep. It's like, all right, well, the rest of all this shit seems super fucking ridiculous to me. So so when I went out to walk them and they twisted around me and I fell, it really could have been, you know, like a more serious injury if I wouldn't have taken care of myself, if I wouldn't have a stronger core. And because I don't know, it makes a difference. Like that girl, she just stepped back and tripped down and her foot's broken now, and she's got to sit there for, I don't remember if she said 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something, but I broke my foot before. So, and I was pregnant, and I was with my third or fourth child, and I was walking down the porch, and then our porch, there was like a spot where there was like a hole or something, and I was carrying something. We were going to an Easter thing, and I was carrying whatever I was bringing, and then I had my big old belly, and so I didn't see, and I stepped into the hole and fell down the thing and broke my foot. But we went to the thing, like I didn't know my foot was broken until we got there. And then there was a nurse there, and she saw my foot, and she's like, your foot's broken, you need to go to the ER or urgent care or something. So we left and we went, and yeah, my foot was broken. And so, so I know, like, you're not supposed to be getting up or something. And there was a whole weird thing, like how my husband would get mad at me if I wouldn't get up and make him breakfast. It's like, I'm not even supposed to be up. Like, there's so many things in life where you start seeing this person does not really care about me. They care more about what they need than they do about what I need. But that is a part of, you know, the growth of each of us, where we start being like, you know, I got to watch out for me. Ain't nobody out there watching out for me. It's me. It's my job. It's my duty. And nobody else, everybody else is out trying to watch for themselves. They want what they want. They don't give a shit what you need. They want what they want. And that's where, you know, so many of us have been vibing. And so it's been so toxic, you know. But it could have been much worse, you know, as there's people at my age who are out there breaking their hips and shit. And they think like, well, you know, I'm just getting old. It's like, no, you're letting yourself go. You've given up on yourself. You're not taking care of yourself. And it's crystal clear. Like you've got these ladies now. Like I just thought this is so exactly what like when you see the universe do its magic, it's like, fuck, hell yeah, you can see this shit coming. And, you know, because when she would be doing all these videos and just all this shallow, superficial shit and just like caring more about what you wear and making sure you're making a statement as you're going out and drink alcohol and eat crappy food in restaurants, like all of this stuff, you know, that she was, you know, her lifestyle thing that she's pushing, and it, you know, was like blew up in her face. And now she's having to backtrack and look at it different and see the error of her ways. And it's going to be with all of the different people, the people who are going in two different directions, because it's two different directions you can go. You can go towards you taking care of yourself, and you're not going to shock your fucking guides. They're not going to be like, oh, God, we didn't see that coming. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Who's she going to talk to today? I was like, this is so, God damn, people. And as, this is where you got to really realize about destiny and fate, and it's all set up, and they know exactly what day you're going to do this and what day you're going to do that, and you're not going to surprise them in any way, shape, or form. So get that out of your head. And so you may surprise yourself. That's who you're surprising. But you're not surprising your guidance. No, you're not surprising. Like you're on a ride. They know where the ride's going, even if you don't. You're the one who's supposed to be learning to trust the ride and to go with the flow and to realize the things you're learning when you're learning them. And yeah, when you have an opportunity to spread the word and tell other people and you want to help other people, then yeah, you got to tell other people. And a lot of people have been spreading very toxic kind of information around. And that is where I said that there's like a whole repercussions. Like, I don't know how many people are attached to their things through like a energetic link, because that is what builds up karma when you're out there telling the people, like what I was saying in that movie yesterday, how that dad was like, he wanted what he wanted for his daughter. He didn't care what she wanted. She didn't know. She didn't understand. She didn't know enough about love. She was more important that she picks the guy with the good job than the guy that she has all the feelings for, as far as he was concerned. And then, you know, it ended up leading to her death or whatever. And then she kept feeling like in death, she had to get home to her dad. And, but that's the thing, is that the people who, and this is what I have been trying to say, and I don't know if I've said it right, but like for when you are psychic, like when you can see things and the other people can't see them. And then you go through all these stages. Like I had just seen that one girl who says she, you know, she's psychic and she feels like it's an obligation. She's got to tell people or something. And in my learning of where I'm at now, because I've gone through those different phases, and then in the part where I'm at now is my learning is that, no, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to be telling people what to do and stuff. You know, you're not supposed to be putting what you think and what you believe and what you see should not be interfering. And it's trippy because when you go back to these other lifetimes where that we've lived as watchers or seers, that is what I think, you know, like seers and mystics and stuff. And you would have like groups, like you could have your village, or you could have some people like kings and emperors and stuff. They would have seers and mystics and stuff that they would go and talk to, you know, well, should I do this today? What's happening? And so, you know, there's been roles. And so it's kind of like learning through these roles. Like, we're not supposed to be telling you all this stuff. And that is something that I have seen more in this life, of realizing there's like a consequence. It's like you're injecting or interjecting yourself into somebody else's life, which is giving them a direction. and you don't want to be linked into their direction, into their consequences and stuff. So that's what I'm saying is like as a psychic, is you want to be able to sit back and just be like, if somebody comes up and asks and says, hey, I'm going to do this thing. What are you thinking? And I would be honest. I would say, well, I see it turning out blah, 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 blah is how it looks to me. But, I mean, there's lessons and all the things. We're not supposed to be stopping people from their lessons. So that's the thing. And then there's so many people who are psychic, especially right now. Everybody's just out there telling people and telling people and telling people. I know I'm telling people too. And, and, but it's not like I'm like calling my kids and saying, well, you got to do this, you got to do that, even though, you can feel like that's what you want to do. But that is where you have to fight those feelings for yourself. You have to, find your own, I hear civility, but I'm picturing more of a, like a calm base where you can handle things or something. And man, my stomach is fucking killing me. This is so crazy. I am so motherfucking sick of this shit. I swear to God, goddamn fucking poisons. Like, I wish I could figure that out. Like, all you can do is detox. And what are you gonna do when you're fucking fogging this in every goddamn fucking morning, every motherfucking morning? Like, it's mental. And it was so weird too when it very first started. I don't know. I would say it's like 2 years ago now. But I started saying stuff like, what the fuck with the fog? Where the fuck is this fog coming from? Why have we got fog every morning all of a sudden? And then there it goes, all through winter. And then I think it was all through the summer too. I don't remember. But I just remember when I started realizing it. Now it's just over the top. Now it's just like, oh, I don't think people question it. So it's like, oh, that was just normal. This is normal. It was fog. It's like, how is that normal? There's nothing normal about any of this shit. You just want to categorize as normal so you don't have to go into deep thought about it. You can just stay in your shallow little world and not think anything through, not take care of yourself. And this is just a thing that is like, it drives me so crazy is because there's all these people. Like, if I guarantee motherfucking it. I could go in, and there's already been so many people I've told. And they just, like the people across the street, their hair is white. And I had told her, I said, if you drink out of copper and magnesium, your hair won't be white anymore. And, people just, like, they're happy being old. People are happy being old. People are happy, like, it's very strange, but, that's their trajectory. That's their life purpose. That's their life plan. It's not, and there's some of us who, we have different ones. And and I don't, like I've said, I don't know that all these people, these old people are going to want to kick it up a notch and really start taking care of themselves, because some of them are going to be coming from a very different place. Like this lady, I don't know where she's at in her, how long ago she has stopped taking care of herself, but it's like you got to build yourself back up, and it's work. And there's a lot of people who don't want to do the work. They just don't want to. And that is the people who I think will rapture out, the people who are going to be leaving, the people who are not here to do this work, the people who are going to be staying. But there's going to be levels, because even when there's going to be all this, because there's going to be this mass exodus, I think, and then there's going to be this like almost like a relief for some people, and then it's going to, but there's going to be such a change in directions. There's going to be such a, all of a sudden, people are going to see all this stuff, just like, living in a shallow life. And then all of a sudden you fall down and it's like, wake up call. So, so it's going to be like a wake up call to the general masses, and everybody's getting them already, but there'll be this giant wake up call. But that is when the real shit's going to start. The real healing, the real facing yourself. And that is where we're going to see, a whole nother level of chaos. And, but there will be people who won't be able to do it. They won't be able to face themselves, and won't be able to heal themselves and stuff. They're just going to fall apart. There's just going to be a lot of people are going to do themselves in. And I don't think it's going to be so much as like right now, how people are doing in their families and stuff. That's like another level of this tension building in people. When this thing happens, it's going to be like a sharp cut on that tension. It's going to be like the rubber band that is being stretched is going to go clip, and it's going to be like fall. And so it's not going to be that same kind of tension that you have going on with people where it's like, you know, the world sucks, I'm just gonna take out my whole family or whatever. So and who knows on what all these levels, like, and some of this stuff is just like fucking massacres, man. This one guy, and so much has to do with DV. But DV, you got to remember all this, and all these kids killing kids, is all this stuff going on with the animals and stuff. This is all to show the holes in our society where we've gone wrong. So this isn't stuff we're supposed to be ignoring. We're supposed to be witnessing. And and the DV should be showing us that these men are in pain, you know. It's not we just have a shit ton of evil men on the planet who want to kill all the women. It's that they are in pain and they don't know how to deal with their emotions. We've got a lot of emotionally immature people who don't know how to handle themselves. And that's why it's such a big part of the spiritual adaptation to self is this extension of your you being able to get a grip on your emotions and your impulses and stuff, for you to start managing yourself, to get a handle on yourself. And right now it's all out of control because there's, you know, people don't know how, people are lost. And was this one, the guy just, his new wife or something just did her in, and her 2 kids. And remember too, though, it is a beautiful thing when these people are leaving together, because there is that other aspect to it of the souls, you know. And I just see him, makes me emotional when I look at some of these things, because I see them. I think they were all, and I think I was like the first person. And as soon as the first person's out, they wait for the. It's sad on some things, just because people are just so lost. But so the people go out, and then they're there together. So the 3 of them are there together. And the thing is that they don't look at the person who did it. And they don't look at him as like, fucking asshole, we hate him, he just ruined our lives. Like, some people can be like, oh, like the girl could be like, oh my God, I had a dress, I was going to that dance, I've got to get to that dance, I want to go to that dance. That's where the soul will be like attached themselves to something. That's why I keep saying through all this stuff, you got to be like letting go. Don't hold on to attachments, because that is a thing to the soul that will keep them attached to certain situations. But for the most part, the people would come out, and once they're in that other realm, they're only going to look at this person with compassion. And there's also, though, these entanglements of our karmic lessons, where people come back and forth killing each other. Like, bet your ass. Like, these are not just like, oh, that horrible thing. No, these are patterns of that these souls do. They kill each other back and forth. And that is what you got to also find your awareness, so that you can break these patterns, because you have to have awareness, or you just continue these cycles. And so there, but when when the shit goes down, it's going to be a lot more. Each person is going to be very focused on themselves. This is that time of mirrors, like the Hopi or the Mayans or whatever had said. There's this time of mirrors. This is going to be this time. So it's not going to be, you're going to see everybody else making you feel tense. You're just going to see yourself. And that is what's going to just eat people up. And that, so we will have people who will do themselves in a lot, but it's also going to be, you know, so that we, as the people who are the ones healing and change, the seeders of the new world, that will have a significant impact. We'll have an understanding of the significance and the impact of healing and being true to yourself and stuff. So all these things are going to continue to lead us into this other this other reality, this other state of being. But so all these things have to play out. And I just, you can see like a huge part of our population, like they started when people are in their 30s, they start feeling like they're old. So there's lots of people who have given up on themselves, not taking care of themselves. And then that is going to be a big part. Everybody's going to have to jump in and start taking care of themselves, stepping up. And, and the things what I say are important is, I say cooking off a cast iron, drinking from copper cup. Right now I've got this big glass jar that I'm putting my water in. And I haven't been able to tell much difference yet. And, but I don't know if I've already got all of this lead, but we've already got all these poisons. Like I'm fucking was born in 61. I've got a shit ton of poisons in me. So but being very mindful over what you consume, what you take in. And so you want to get away from the things that have a bunch of chemicals and, words that you don't know, like ingredients and stuff. You want to go basic as far as I'm concerned. Even when you go basic, and you got fucking carrots and potatoes, they're spraying shit on them. It's like every motherfucking thing. And then even when you wash them, now they're saying that, no, they put the stuff on that grows into the food. It's like these motherfuckers are not fucking around with us. Like they want us fucking sick as fuck. And so so you have to be aware of that and mindful of that. And you have to be able to do some kind of detoxing, which to me is this, these different teas, burdock root, wormwood, black seed oil. There's clove. Like I drink clove every morning. Cloves is another one. There's a bunch of different ones, and there's so many people now talking about it, and so many different people who have gone in this direction, who have shared information. They've cured themselves from cancer, they've cured themselves from diabetes, they've cured themselves from blindness, they've cured themselves. Like there's just constant, and you can find these people out there. And they're in my algorithm, they're coming to me all the time. It's so crazy too, because somebody was saying something to me. It was on TikTok. YouTube right now is just like, this is mental. Whatever they're doing to my account, I don't even fucking get it. There's even, they just tip these things back. It's like they just remove views. It's the weirdest fucking thing. And then whatever, like my video yesterday, it's so stagnant. I couldn't even believe, like 35 views in 24 hours. It's like, I don't know. It's wild. Like it was, it's building up where it was being 150 views in 24 hours. And then they started just whatever it was that they do. I don't know. It just goes down, 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 down. It's very frustrating. I fucking tell my guys all the time. And then they have a whole thing that they say. So anyways, it's just, it's important to focus on your health. And focus on your mental health, your emotional health, and you got to stay with movement and just all of these different things. And then don't feel like you have to do it all at once. Just start doing it every day. Every day, figure out, every day I'm going to go for a walk. Every day I'm going to do jumping jacks. Every day I'm going to jog in place. Whatever it is you want to do. And if your legs are super weak already, then there's tons of different things on YouTube. There's different yogas and stuff. There's chair yoga. And whatever you start doing that you can do, just keep doing it. And you'll work yourself up to being able to do more and more and more. And pretty soon, you'll be doing planks. So you just got to stick with you. Stick with, what's important, taking care of yourself. And so anyways, I'll just ramble. So, and everything is all about this, taking care of yourself, learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So talk to you later. Bye.